Okay, well, we'll just dive right in. This session is called AI Agents Are Everywhere and Knowing How Users Experience Them Is Not. I'm curious, who in here has heard of Pendo before? No? Okay, that's all right. Pendo's been around for just about 14 years, traditionally in like software product analytics and in-app messaging. So any of the banking apps that you use or software that you use at work, it's very likely that that company has Pendo on the back end, and Pendo's telling them how users navigate the application. If you experience some sort of onboarding process, that was all built with Pendo. And now as software experiences are changing, so too is Pendo, and that is what brings us here today. So to get started, my name is Tate Devitt. I am based in our Raleigh headquarters with my colleague here, Emily Miller. I'm the marketing lead for Agent Analytics, which is what we're here to talk about today. And Emily is a senior customer engineer at Pendo. And we're excited to be chatting with you all. So like I was saying, the way that users are leveraging software is changing. So traditionally, when you navigate an application, you log in for the first time, you are clicking everywhere, and using Pendo, you would have been able to see how are users moving through my application, where do they get frustrated, where do they drop off, what's driving the most adoption. And now when you log into an application, you might just be greeted by an open chatbot or a prompt, and you tell the software what you want and how you want to experience that application. And so as this new agentic way of using software is coming about, so too is how Pendo is telling you how users are experiencing it. So today we're going to talk about what those conversational AI agent experiences need in terms of how are you going to be able to continue to optimize and scale based on how are users leveraging them. The last couple of years, we've really seen agentic experiences kind of explode. Maybe a year or two ago within your company walls, the conversation was like, should we build an agent? Should we put this in front of our employees or in front of our customers? And now fast forwarding to 2026, the conversation is much more like, how fast can we scale this? And is it actually driving measurable business value? So we know that what we are spending money on and investing R&D dollars and building agents and using AI, we know that it's bringing value to our users and to our business. So everyone in here is making one or both of these bets. I'm actually curious, who in here has built an agent and has one live in front of users right now? Yeah? How many people are thinking about building an agent? Cool. And how many people use agents at work? Yes. Okay, cool. So all of these are applying. Pendo is used on both of these types of experiences. So for customer-facing agents, you might think of support chatbots that are now on top of a product, or just like I said, like maybe an AI search, some sort of blank box where you just type something in, you're looking for information. Maybe there's an entire UI now as part of your platform that is just agentic. And then for employee-facing agents, basically companies are spending a lot of money deploying tools like Gemini or Agentforce across their entire organization. And it's kind of just the wild, wild west right now of how are users engaging with these agents? Is it actually increasing productivity? And for the customer-facing agents, when you're building these and you're deploying them for your customers, you're expecting the return to be more retention on your product. Maybe adding an agentic experience is going to make your product easier to use. It's going to get users to their time to value is going to increase, and it's going to get them to value much faster. Maybe you're going to see a higher NPS score, more revenue. Maybe adding an agentic part of your platform now gives you a competitive differentiation or advantage in your market. So this is actually your big bet, this is what's going to bring us into the next phase of growth for our business. And for employee-facing agents, like I said, you expect them to be more efficient and you expect them to be reducing costs. But the interesting thing of what we've been learning with Pendo in the last few years as we've been building agent analytics is that not many people can prove this right now. We've deployed AI, but we actually don't really know if it's adding any more value for our users than what they had before. For those that are building agents, so a lot of you in the room, you might be able to see technical performance. Right now, you might be using some sort of AI observability tool that's telling you, how long did it take the AI agent to respond, how many tokens were used, how much is this costing us, and that's great. So you understand from a technical standpoint, is this running? Is it working? but you don't know, is the user successful? Is this actually driving value? Should we keep, rolling this out to more people? And that is where Pendo really comes in. And for the last year, our product team has been focused on answering that question, because ultimately it's focused on business value. And I know Gartner actually came out with a study recently that said they're projecting by 2027 that majority of AI pilots are going to fail. So it's pretty alarming to a lot of our users who are product managers that are building agents right now. And there's no playbook that exists today on how best to build and scale an AI agent. So even when we were building agent analytics, we were kind of just listening to what these owners of these agents really needed to be able to prove the effectiveness of what they're building. So if you look up here, what you can't see once you release an agent in live in production is kind of what's hurting adoption and growth. You see that this familiar instance here on the left-hand side, an agent says, I'm sorry, I'm unable to answer your question. So the user gets frustrated. I would say user expectations are higher than ever when they go in to use an AI agent for the first time. They'll try it once and then perhaps abandon if they didn't get what they needed. But from this experience, they maybe give an unsatisfactory response. Maybe they submit a thumbs down. Maybe they submit a support ticket. But ultimately, we know the user probably never returns. And as the owner of the agent, they're often the last person to find out about that negative experience. Maybe they have to wait for engineering to say, hey, a ticket was filed, or you're waiting for, hopefully they sent some feedback, something like that. The biggest takeaway from this slide is that this process and system right here is not going to scale. If you do not fill that leaky bucket of users coming once and never coming back, and you don't know that it happened, you don't know why, what they tried to type in, how the agent responded, it's going to be really hard to have that confidence and certainly the data to back up, hey, I feel comfortable, scaling this from 10 users to now 100. And you feel like you have a sense of control and know what's happening. And so that's what we've built. We want to share about it.
Yeah, and that's where the 3 phases of insights needed to scale AI agents come into play. So the first phase of this is understanding how users are using your agents today. The second phase is identifying issues and frustration. Where are people actually getting blocked from having success with your agent? And then finally, it comes to proving ROI. And these might sound familiar, and I can actually switch with you so that I can do this. Yeah. These might sound familiar because in traditional SaaS product planning, this is what goes into building a good product, right? Understanding what users are doing and how they're using the product, making sure that you're investing in the right things, identifying friction and ensuring that users are successful with your product, and then proving that this is an actual valuable feature and that users have a good overall experience. So diving into each of these phases, within phase 1, understanding how agents are used. You want to identify how many people are adopting your agent. But not only are they adopting it, are they retained within your product or within your agent? Are they finding it once and then coming back again and finding it again and using that over and over again to do a task or perform a job or ask questions and get answers out of your agent? How successful are they with your agent? And also, what are they intending to use your agent for? So identifying what are the top use cases that people are using the agent for. Maybe you built it for 3 specific reasons, to do specific tasks for your users on behalf of your users, but are they actually using it in the way that you intended it to be used? Or are there potential new use cases that you had made assumptions before and now users expect your agent to do something that it doesn't know what to do? Where do you invest the next iteration of your agent? How do you ensure that you're building the right things for your users to be able to accomplish tasks and be more efficient within your tool? With Pendo, you then move into phase 2, so identifying agent issues and user frustration. Not only is the user using it, but are they getting blocked from having success because the agent is unable to respond? Is it the fact that it loses context of the conversation that's being had? Are there issues that are occurring or errors that are occurring within your agent? Is there user frustration? We have this new metric called rage prompts. Are users getting frustrated, getting mad at the agent like we saw on the slide earlier? Are they yelling at the agent? Are they using profanity at the agent? I'm sure we've all been frustrated at agents before. I know I've been there. So being able to surface that and identify which use cases are actually causing more frustration for users, potentially because, again, the agent doesn't know what it needs to be doing, or is it calling the wrong tools on the back end? So once you identify what are users' actual intents with the agent so you can make the right decisions for building this out, and also identifying issues early on so you can ensure that users are successful with your agent and not getting stuck or blocked, you can then start to prove that your AI investment is actually paying off. This is actually worth it for users to come and use our agent to ensure that they're able to complete tasks, that they're able to get the answers that they need. And you can tie this to the rest of the product functionality if an agent does live within a product experience. With Pendo, we are able to marry that together with the full user journey, being able to see what a user did before interacting with your agent, or what did they do after interacting with your agent. And tie this together to understand, like, is the new way, this new agentic platform or this agentic way of using our product better than the old way? Are people converting at a higher rate? Are we increasing our revenue due to having this agentic experience? Is our retention higher? Are people then happier with our product because we're able to meet their needs and meet them where they are? And Pendo is going to be the tool for you throughout that each of those phases to help you build out the right thing for your users and identify what are people actually intending to use your agent for. Are we building the right things or the right agentic experiences? Reducing the frustration, the friction, the errors and issues within your agent, as well as proving that out to the rest of your teams and executives. We do have a 60-minute session later today where we're going to get hands-on with Agent Analytics. We're going to do a full product demo of Agent Analytics and show you how to set up your Agent Analytics. For those that use different AI platforms, you can actually use skills to set up Pendo Agent Analytics, sign up for free, and start capturing some of this data today to see how people are actually interacting with your agent. So this will be at 2:15, I think, across the hall, right? But yeah, thank you for coming and joining us today. And I know we have some time left, so we can definitely take some Q&A as well.